been a few weeks now, and Nikki is recovering very quickly, so I'm going to start my story again, and we'll start right off on race day, June 15th. June 15th. This was race day. We started at 9 a.m. The weather was clear and pleasant and around 55 degrees, but it would warm up to 70 plus. There were about 300 runners from all over the world, but you can't see any of that because I forgot to remove the lens cap from my camera while filming the start of this race. But you can listen to the start.
Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Enjoy everyone, have fun out there.
The route was described on the website as difficult, but it started out on a nice flat dirt road. One of the runners, Rosie, had met me on the bus from Johannesburg and had come with her sister but asked if she could run with me since her sister was a much more accomplished runner and was planning on going very fast. She'd only run a few marathons and didn't want to be left alone on the course. I had just explained that I was going relatively slow and take a lot of pictures, so I didn't mind a little company at all. She was a wonderful running partner, upbeat the whole way, and as it turned out, a real take charge hero when I needed a little assistance during the race. Although we started on that nice flat dirt track, that wouldn't last very long. We soon reached the edge of the escarpment. The trail dropped over 1,500 feet in about a mile and a half to the savanna below. It was a dirt road, but it had patches of pavement where it was so steep that even the Land Cruisers in low gear would start to slide on the loose dirt. Everyone slowed down and slowly zigzagged down the road to the open savanna below. Rosie and I made it down the escarpment without incident, and were starting on a level stretch of deep sand when out of nowhere a rogue wildebeest blindsided me and knocked me flat on my face. Okay, it may not have been a wildebeest, I didn't actually see it, but I did land on the ground so fast that I only had time to break the fall with my face. Although I was carrying two cameras, I seem to have missed recording the footage of this incident too. As is often the case with head wounds, my face was covered with blood and I couldn't see well at all. Fortunately, we had just passed an aid station and Rosie came to my rescue. She led me back there so I could see the doctor that was in attendance. A Danish doctor and two South African EMTs were stationed there. The doctor, given the race rules, could have prevented me from continuing to run for safety reasons, but after I convinced him that I was not concussed and really wanted to finish this race, he said okay, but I would have to get some stitches to close the wounds so that it would not continue to bleed in my eyes. He was a runner and knew that speed was needed in this situation, so he whipped out a needle and thread and closed my wound with 5 stitches and no anesthetic in seconds. The EMTs added a plaster to keep the dirt out, and they sent me on my way. I can't thank these guys enough. They saved our trip. We then had to run through a mile or two of deep, loose sand to reach the halfway point in our race. Although I didn't seem to be thinking clearly, I must have turned on one of the cameras because I have footage of the sand and most of the ascent back up the hill. At this point, the battery died in my action camera. Still spaced out, I didn't notice it, and therefore I missed much of the last third of the race. That was a shame because we were almost trampled by a real wildebeest herd which stampeded at full gallop across the trail and about 10 yards in front of us. I borrowed this clip. Rosie and I finished the race together in spite of my reduced mental capacity, and as it turned out, we were not the last ones in.
The names are as follows: Wesley Ann Ross, Rosemary Ramon, Ariana Provencher. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. And look here. Who's coming here? Who's coming here? This is for the full marathon. And who is it? Ashwin Dukul. Ashwin Dukul. Welcome.
So I completed my goal, set so many months before, and could end my story here, but I haven't mentioned the best part: the unbelievably wonderful community of runners that we spent the week with. All of them were great, but the following guys I got photos of. Rosie helped most in my hour of need, or at least my 15 minutes, thanks to the efficiency of a Danish medical magician. I don't know anyone with more heart and true grit. I thoroughly enjoyed running with her. Simon was at the finish line to congratulate us at the end of the race, even though he had finished much earlier, and recommended we try the Petra Desert Marathon next. He runs an adventure marathon every year. John and Sonia from Virginia introduced us to spreadsheets and suggested a marathon in Kenya next. They also run marathons in exotic places and around the world regularly. Bernadette and Richard are currently from the UK but have lived all over the world. She had completed 531 marathons, and they were on their way to a race in Mongolia next. Jim and Denise were from Wisconsin. Jim not only competed in marathons, but bicycle and cross-country races as well. Dennis from Michigan was smart enough to bring his drone along, even though I don't think it was allowed in the reserve. He also sent me some photos that I was able to use in this video. Sana, our tour director, was so energetic, helpful, and entertaining. Plus, she had an encyclopedic knowledge of every subject that came up at meals, including the geography of Antarctica. Gary from the UK had just finished an ultra marathon the week before he came here and was running this marathon just for fun. And then there is all of you following my videos who kept me motivated through the months of rehabilitation and training. Thank you so much. Well, now it's time to set a goal for my 80th birthday. If you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. And hey, thanks for watching.